Okay, let's talk about agentic AI. It's the buzzword that's absolutely everywhere. But, trying to figure out how to actually learn it and build with it, it feels like you're drowning in this avalanche of courses and articles and hype. So what we're going to do right now is cut through all of that noise. We're going to lay out one single, clear, actionable roadmap to help you master this stuff.
So, what even is agentic AI? Well, at its heart, it's about systems that don't just talk back to you, they act. They get things done. Think about it like this. If you ask a regular chatbot to, say, plan a weekend trip to San Francisco, it'll probably just spit out a list of flights and hotels. Kind of boring, right? But in agentic AI, it'll actually reason through your request. It'll create a plan, check your calendar, hunt for the best deals, book the flight, reserve the hotel, and then get this, it'll pop the whole itinerary right into your calendar. It uses tools, it works with other AIs. I mean, this is a massive leap from the chatbots we've all been playing with.
Yeah, this quote just nails it. We're talking about a complete shift in thinking. We're going from AI as a passive chatbot that you just talk to an AI that's an active partner in getting things done. It's a total game changer for what we can even expect from this technology.
But here's the thing, and I bet you felt this too. The real challenge isn't figuring out what it is, it's figuring out how to master it. I mean, there's just this chaotic flood of information out there, right? You've got dozens of tutorials, competing frameworks, so many expert opinions. It's like, where do you even start? It can be totally paralyzing. And that's exactly the problem we wanted to solve with this. We've done the heavy lifting for you. We've gone through the curricula, the research, the insights from the world's top experts and boiled it all down into one unified learning path. We're talking about stuff from MIT, Harvard, the practical hands-on wisdom from Andrew Ng, and even the high-level strategy from firms like Bain and McKinsey. It's all in here. So we've broken this entire path down into 3 simple, clear stages. First up, foundations. You gotta master the core concepts. Then, stage 2 is application. This is where you actually get your hands dirty and build your first agents. And finally, stage 3, specialization. We're gonna scale up and see how this stuff is being used in the enterprise. Foundations, application, specialization. That's it. That's the roadmap. All right, let's dive into stage 1, mastering the core foundations. Think of this as the bedrock for everything else you're going to build. This is the stuff that pretty much every single expert agrees you absolutely have to know. No skipping this part. Okay, first up, one of the biggest hurdles for anyone starting out, RAG versus fine-tuning. Let's break it down real simple. Think of RAG, that's Retrieval-Augmented Generation, as giving your AI an open library card. It can go out and pull in fresh, up-to-the-minute information whenever it needs to. It's cheaper, and you can see exactly where the information came from. Now, fine-tuning, that's more like sending your AI to get a PhD in a very specific subject. You're actually retraining its brain. It's incredibly powerful, but it's expensive, and its knowledge gets locked in at that point. Honestly, for most people starting out, RAG is the way to go. So, what tools do you actually need in your toolkit? Here's the essential lineup. You've got LangChain, which is kind of your all-purpose Swiss Army knife for building agents. Then there's Microsoft's AutoGen. Andrew N is a big fan of this one, and it's amazing for making different AI agents work together as a team. If you're serious about RAG, Llama Index is your go-to. And then there's Crew AI, which is perfect for building these little specialized squads of agents, like a research agent, a writing agent, and an editing agent, all collaborating on a task. Okay, that brings us to stage 2, building your first agents. Enough with the theory, right? This is where the fun really starts. We're moving from just learning to actually doing. And we're not talking about some vague, abstract ideas here. These are actual, concrete projects that come straight from these expert courses. For example, you could build a React agent. That just means it reasons and then it acts, using a web search to answer really complex multi-step questions. Or you could use AutoGen to create a planner executor team, where one agent makes the plan and another one does the work. How cool is that? You can even build an agent that literally learns from its own mistakes, or one that can securely pull information from your personal Google Drive or Slack. So what's the magic behind these projects? Well, it all comes down to a few key design patterns, and Andrew Ng lays these out perfectly. The first one is tool use. That's literally just giving your agent a tool, like a calculator or a search API. Then there's planning. This is how an agent takes a huge goal and breaks it down into small, manageable steps. And finally, reflection. That's that self-correcting superpower we talked about, where an agent can look at its own work, find the flaws, and actually fix them. All right, on to our final stage, stage 3, from project to production. So we've covered the theory, We've talked about building your first projects. Now let's zoom out and look at the big picture, how this is all being applied in the real world, in the enterprise.
And you really need to understand this part because this is why it's such a big deal. The top consulting firms, we're talking Bain, McKinsey, they don't see agentic AI as just another neat little tool. They see it as a fundamental, structural shift in how entire companies are going to operate and compete. We're not talking about making things a little bit better. We're talking about completely rewriting the rules of the game.
And this isn't some far-off future thing. It's happening right now. In insurance, you have autonomous agents processing claims. In finance, they're monitoring for risk. In pharma, they're blowing the doors off of drug discovery. You've got agents in legal departments analyzing contracts, and agents in marketing creating these incredibly personalized customer experiences. I mean, the opportunities here are absolutely massive, and they touch pretty much every industry you can think of.
So we've gone through the whole roadmap, right? From the core foundations all the way up to these huge enterprise transformations. And the main takeaway, the big message here is simple. Don't just learn, build. The best way, the only way to really master this is to get your hands dirty and start creating. And hopefully, this path gives you the confidence and the steps to do exactly that. And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most exciting question of all. Now that you have the map, you get the core patterns, you see the incredible potential. What's next for you? What problem are you passionate about solving? What kind of agent would you build first?